The search continues for a dog running scared after he escaped from the shelter here in Frankfort after he was one of more than 150 dogs rescued from a hoarding case in Laurel County.
Flood watch continues for central, southern, and northern parts of Kentucky through 9 o'clock tonight as we could see more rounds of heavy rain. I'll have the latest track in your hour-by-hour forecast.
Coming up, we'll take you to Nicholas County, where a flood warning goes into effect this evening.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to WKYT News at Noon. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith in today for Barbara Bailey, who has the day off. A flood watch is in effect for most of the state, with more rounds of heavy rain expected to hit the bluegrass this afternoon and evening.
We have called a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day to keep you updated on the conditions in your area. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell now tracking the threat on our First Alert Defender. Jim.
And we're tracking some of the nastiness moving through Lexington right now. You can see some of the moisture off in the distance. Showers are passing through central portions of Kentucky again. It's generally light in nature, but the heaviest stuff is still out to our west, and it will move through as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. I will track it hour by hour with our high-resolution model coming up here in just a few minutes for you.
See you shortly. Thank you.
Well, the heavy rain caused waters to rise in some central Kentucky communities. Several roads are closed because of flooding. Although some of the water has receded, there is still some concern. WKYT's Mike Linden continues our top story team coverage with a look at conditions in Nicholas County.
With the rain still coming down in the bluegrass, a flood warning goes into effect for the Licking River later this evening for Harrison, Nicholas, and Robertson counties.
Following days of consistent heavy rain in the bluegrass, high water issues continue to be a major concern. In Nicholas County, officials say they're closely monitoring the Licking River. They say with another round of heavy rain throughout Monday and into Tuesday, the river could experience minor flooding. While the river may rise out of its banks, Judge Executive Mike Pryor says the flooding should pose no danger to people living nearby.
We don't have very many homes that lay close enough to the river that they're affected. It's probably count on your hand, on one hand, how many homes that we could have affected when we have a fairly severe flood.
County officials say while they don't expect any major impacts to come out of the flooding from the Licking River, they say if you do come up to a roadway covered in water, the motto will never change: turn around, don't drown. In Nicholas County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Well, the most recent time the Licking River flooded was earlier this year in July, when it rose to more than 27 feet.
Wild and deadly weather has crashed through a wide section of the country over the holiday weekend. Tornadoes swept through the Dallas area, killing at least 11 people. And that same storm system is now bringing blizzard conditions to the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma and in New Mexico. Omar Villafranca has the latest now from hard-hit Rowlett, Texas.
Many residents are retrieving what little they have left following this weekend's deadly tornadoes.
Compared to our neighbors, I mean, I think we got pretty lucky. The house is still standing, the walls are standing.
More than 100 homes in the Garland area were reduced to rubble Saturday when an EF4 tornado packing winds of up to 200 miles per hour tore through the area. 61-year-old Gwendolyn Wheatley says it was the scariest night of her life.
I just stayed in my closet all night long, shaking like a leaf on a tree.
A 24-hour curfew remains in effect here in Rowlett after an EF3 tornado caused significant damage. You can see the tornado knocked over this van, and behind me, it ripped the roof off of this home.
On Sunday, authorities evacuated residents near this damaged water tower out of fears of flooding.
At this point, we've had an engineer who is familiar with that particular water tower assess it. Based on the damage that he saw, he was concerned enough to ask us to drain the water tower.
The unusual weather pattern is now blanketing parts of the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma, and New Mexico with heavy snow. Whiteout conditions and massive snowdrifts led officials to shut down nearly all of Interstate 40 as dozens of vehicles skidded off slick roads. Forecasters expect up to 15 inches of snow in some areas before the system moves onto the northeast. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Rowlett, Texas.
And New Mexico has declared a state of emergency, and the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning for parts of Missouri. That now includes St. Louis. You can track the rain and flooding on your smartphone. Just download the WKYT weather and traffic app for your iPhone or Android.
A man accused of injuring 3 people in a hit-and-run crash will answer to the charges against him in less than an hour. Aziel Areola Lavaco is charged with 3 counts of assault, leaving the scene of an accident, and DUI. Police say the victims were on the sidewalk on Midland Avenue near 3rd Street when he crashed into them around 11:30 last night. WKYT's Mark Barber has the latest on the investigation in this Crime Tracker report.
A utility pole that police say was shattered by the suspected drunk driver before he took off lies in pieces here along Midland Avenue. But those who have seen the debris here aren't so worried about the damage as they are about the 3 men who were seriously injured in the crash.
I saw backpacks and personal hygiene items.
Police aren't saying if the men who were hit by the car were homeless, but Billy Mallory, a community activist, worries that was the case. According to police, the crash happened around 11:30 last night when a car turning onto Midland Avenue from Winchester Road ran onto the sidewalk and plowed into 3 men. Officers tell WKYT the driver, Aziel Areola, took off. The 25-year-old was arrested about 45 minutes later near New Circle Road and Leestown Road. Police say the 3 pedestrians injured in the crash are all in critical condition. According to an arrest citation, one of the men has a head injury and a broken leg. The second man has multiple rib fractures, a dislocated knee, and weak vital signs. The third man was rushed into surgery with life-threatening injuries.
It makes me heartsick, and I really do hope that the men survive.
Areola is being held on a $23,000 bond. He will be arraigned on his charges of DUI, leaving the scene of an accident, and 3 counts of assault in less than an hour. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Mark. The men who were hit while walking were walking a route that many take to a nearby homeless shelter when the weather turns wet and cold. Well, the man charged in a crash that killed 4 people and an unborn child in southern Kentucky faced a judge this morning. Jason Gibson pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of murder, fetal homicide, wanton endangerment, DUI, and reckless driving. Police say Gibson was driving under the influence when his car crossed the center line and hit another vehicle along the Hal Rogers Parkway in Clay County. Judy Pennington Adams, her pregnant granddaughter Tiffany, Tiffany's son Kyson, and a family friend, Charlene Lewis, were all killed.
Well, today's colder and rainy weather is slowing down the search efforts for a missing dog in the Frankfort area who had been rescued from a southern Kentucky home. Harvey was brought to Frankfort after being found in a hoarding case out of Laurel County. WKYT's Hillary Thornton has the latest on the search.
Rescuers say the good news is little Harvey has been spotted several times since taking off from here at Lifehouse for Animals, and they say it seems he's not traveled too far. The dog now running scared is one of more than 150 dogs taken from the property of the director of Homeward Bound Animal Rescue in Laurel County. On Saturday, Harvey was rescued from the makeshift shelter for all of those dogs at the Laurel County Fairgrounds. Then at his new place to stay in Frankfort for only a few hours, Harvey slipped out of his harness while on a walk.
He got outside, he just got in panic mode and did a Houdini act where he just kind of backed out, flipped out of his harness, and in his state of mind just took off.
As Food and Water sits outside of the shelter in hopes it will lead him back to where he has now been missing for more than a day. His kennel mate Ruggle also hoping he returns soon, as she has been taken out for walks as another attempt to attract Harvey back. Thankfully, he has been seen in close proximity to the shelter in the Prevention Park area of Frankfort. Unfortunately, though, they say each time he knows he is spotted or someone calls for him, he takes off.
He's been through a lot of changes lately. You know, his world has turned upside down. He doesn't understand or have any idea what's going on.
If you do see Harvey, you are asked to immediately contact Lifehouse in Frankfort. Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you very much. And rescuers are setting up some trail cameras around the shelter to see if they can find where Harvey is hiding out right now. And again, they remind you that if you do come upon him, they ask you not to chase after him because obviously at this point, you know, he's going to run. So that's the issue
He's a
with
cute
Harvey.
little dog, though.
Let's hope he gets found and safe. Now, Janet Jackson is postponing her Unbreakable World Tour so that she can have some surgery.
Some disappointed fans out there for sure. The five-time Grammy Award winner made the announcement on Facebook saying she has to have the procedure soon, so she's pushing the tour back until the spring. She didn't disclose what type of surgery she's having. She did say every date would be rescheduled and told fans to hold on to their tickets. The 2016 leg of the tour was scheduled to start in Denver January 9th and continue until the end of June with a stop in Lexington January 30th.
All right, we'll keep you informed as we get more info on that. Good to have you on WKYT News. Chicago's mayor is calling for action today after a deadly double shooting over the weekend. We'll tell you what he is asking the police department to do next on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also, Star Wars: The Force Awakens shattering records around the globe despite not even being open in China yet. We'll tell you about the film's latest milestone coming up on WKYT News at noon.